Okay, so hello and welcome to our brand new course, that is DanswerAI complete course by techlatest.net. So in this is our brand new course. In this course we cover a lot of things about DanswerAI. So first of all, I will let you know what is DanswerAI. So DanswerAI is an open source question answering tool, enterprise question answering tool. So yep, that integrates AI and uh, 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 that responds Q&A and question answers, and it is also open source. So yeah, talking about techlatest.net. So techlatest.net is a company which work on latest technologies like providing blog stuff, tutorials, courses, and apart from this, we are also registered cloud partners. Like we are partnered with various very famous clouds like AWS, GCP, and Azure. So yeah, want to know about techlatest.net? Check out the website on techlatest.net. Okay, so now moving ahead to the next slide. So, yep, give me a minute. Yeah. So this is the Dancer AI course objectives, and what we will cover in the course, like what are the items in the course. So basically we'll cover the step-by-step setup of Dancer on various cloud platforms like AWS, GCP, and Azure for seamless access. We are already providing solutions on all the three cloud platforms, that is AWS, Azure, and GCP. So yep, you can check it out on also AWS, GCP, and Azure. We'll also show you the Dancer UI, like user interface, normal user interface, admin interface. What is the difference between normal user and an admin user interface? And we'll also integrate Dancer with external apps such as Google Drive, GitHub, Jira, Slack, and a lot of other third-party apps. Like Dancer is directly integrated with these apps. There are so many options also like Notion and other options also. You can check it out on docs.dancer.dev. Okay, and we can also show you the your authentication methods. Like there are three authentication methods in Dancer. Like first is basic auth, second one is Google auth, and third one is sample auth. So we'll show you that also. And apart from this, we'll also talking about the gain a comprehensive understanding of Dancer AI capabilities, like what are the capabilities in Dancer, search and chat functionality, and like direct Q&A, generative AI settings. We'll also show you Dancer AI instance by configuring authentication methods and SSL. We'll also talking about SSH keys and other stuff in this course. Yep. Moving to the next slide. And this is the course content, like what we cover in course. So basically, first we cover the Dancer AI course overview and objectives, overview of Dancer AI, setup and installation of Dancer AI on various cloud platforms like AWS, GCP, and Azure. And apart from this, we will also cover the overview of Dancer UI, basically user interface. In user interface, you can see a lot of stuff like connectors, integrating Dancer with various apps uh, Jira, Notion, and File, Google Site, Web, etc. And we will also show you data sources integration using connectors, like what is connector settings and settings of connector, how you use connectors. We'll also show you normal user interface, like what are the uh, normal user interface settings and what are the admin settings in Dancer. First user is always admin. If you log in or create an account in Dancer as a first user, so you are always admin. And next, we'll also cover settings and AI configuration in Dancer, like what are the generative AI settings, what are the OpenAI settings, Azure OpenAI settings, various AI configurations in Dancer AI. And then after we'll cover supported authentication methods in Dancer. Basically, there are three supported authentication methods in Dancer. Like first one is first one is basic auth setup, second one is Google auth setup, third one is sample setup. Basically, sample setup is for enterprises, and apart from this, we'll also covering domain name, like configure your domain name and SSL in DancerAI. That's all about the course content. Moving to the next slide. So first, in this slide, we'll talk about what is DancerAI. Basically, what is DancerAI. In starting, I'll also tell you like DancerAI is an open source enterprise question answering tool. So here you can see Dancer is a GPT-based open source enterprise question answering tool. Okay, it empowers private data control, like instant AI Q&A with reliability. You can also see document retrieval, enhance user experience in Dancer. There is dashboard control, future enhancement, search query function, search future, query future, and like generative AI settings. A lot of things in Dancer, basic and Google or setup, sample setup. So these all things we'll cover in Dancer, and these all like this is the overview of Dancer. Like what is Dancer? You can instant AI Q&A with reliability with Dancer. Like if you want, like you can integrate Dancer to your organization documents, and you directly get answers. Like you type questions and you directly get answers with AI. So setup and installation of Dancer AI on AWS cloud. So talking about this thing, basically we are providing solution on a very famous cloud. Like first one is AWS, second one is GCP, third one is Azure. So in this lecture we will cover all the things. Like first you launch and connect Dancer VM on AWS Marketplace. Marketplace. You can search about Dancer on AWS Marketplace, and you can find the techlatest.net VM. So you can launch and connect Dancer VM on AWS. We will use RDP for Windows, and Ramina for Linux. If you are a Linux user, you can use Ramina. If you are a Window user, so you can use RDP. We will also show you browser access via public IP or DNS. Like what is public IP, will show you, and what is DNS. Like you can directly access Dancer UI or Dancer UI via browser through public IP. And we'll also show you add open API key for a chat and search functionality. This is one of the most important thing in Dancer, like search and chat and search functionality. We'll talking about in other lecture in deep about search, chat and search functionality. So moving to the next slide, this is same. We'll show you same thing on GCP cloud about like SSH for Linux, RDP for Windows, use HTTPS with public IP for GUI, add API keys for search and Q&A functionality. So this is basically for Google Cloud. Like if you search on Google Cloud about techlatest.net VM or Dancer VM with support from techlatest.net, so you can find you can find the VM on GCP cloud also. Moving to the next slide. So this is for Azure, like launch and connect Dancer VM on Azure, use RDP for Windows or Remina for Linux, GUI access via HTTPS with public IP or DNS, add API keys for search and Q&A functionality. So I will also show you the VM of techlatest.net. Simply go on website techlatest.net/support, click on product and support page, and after this you can find the search here about the Dancer. So you can find about the Dancer here. Like you can find in about section you'll find about the Dancer with support from TechLatest, not an open source enterprise question answering tool, which revolutionize knowledge generation and retrieval. So like talking about the next thing, that is AWS guide. Click on this button and you can find about the AWS guide here, like how you set up AWS, how you set up Dancer on AWS VM. Okay, so you can find all the guide here, like what is the settings, what is the VM, IP, EC2 console, PuTTY, etc. Okay, so yep, moving to the next part. So basically that is GCP deployment guide. So how to get the answer provided by techlatest.net on Google Cloud platform. Same thing, you click on this link and you find the Dancer VM on GCP cloud. And same thing here, you can find about the more stuff like how you set up Dancer on GCP cloud, and you can connect via browser window or SSH client, etc. Okay, moving to the next part. Yep, Azure deployment guide. Okay, so same thing here. If you click on this button, so you can find about the Dancer on Azure also, like Dancer GPT chat and query your own data. Okay, so you can find about the Azure here also, like what is Azure VM and like how you get it now and other stuff about the pricing information, AI and machine learning, compute categories, support as other plans and pricing, ratings and review, other stuff. Okay, so moving to the next thing, what is the next thing? Okay, so yep. Yes. So what is what is Dancer UI, and like what is overview of Dancer UI? So main thing starts here. Like we will show you the demonstration from AWS, GCP, and Azure. After starting your VM or setup of VM, you can work on Dancer UI. So, like, what is Dancer UI? Basically, Dancer UI is a dashboard, or you can say it is a dashboard where you can find all the settings. Like, you can find about the connectors, you can find out about the various apps, like you can integrate Dancer, like you can integrate a Dancer with various apps and third-party apps like GitHub, Jira, Notion, Slack. You can find about the admin settings, user interface, normal user interface, like admin settings, generative AI settings, various Slack bot integration and other stuff. I will show you. Yep. So this is our VM. So I'm logging here. Okay, and I'll write my password. Yep, it starts. Okay, so this is the admin panel. Like if you click on this icon and you can see the admin panel and logout button. Okay, if you click on admin panel, so you can find a lot about DanswerAI. Here you can find about the search functionality, chat functionality, and like this is the chat functionality, search functionality. Okay, and after this you click on admin panel, so you can find about the existing connectors, like what is connectors. I will tell you, like I will guide you in next lecture what is connectors and other stuff. Okay, so this is the connectors, like this is the third party apps which like set up auto syncing from apps, like you can integrate Dancer with these apps like linear product, but there are a lot of options are available in the Dancer. Okay, talking about the document management, so document sets, explorer, feedback, there are a lot of options are also here, custom assistants like persona, Slack bots, and OpenAI keys. And here you can find about the user and admin. Okay, so moving to the next slide. Yep, moving to the next slide. Okay, so like overview of data connectors, like what are the data connector, what are the various data connectors options are available in the Dancer, like Google side, where various third-party apps, connector categories, these all things like we'll talk about in this lecture, like data connectors, various categories in data connectors, operational mechanisms, significance, how you set up data connectors, how you integrate data connectors, various integration with various integration of Dancer with third-party apps. So in this lecture, we'll talk about this stuff. Moving to the next slide. So like settings and AI configuration part for server-side settings. Okay. Okay. So talking about server-side settings or UI side settings or admin side settings, anything you can say. So like in this lecture, we'll talk about the generative AI overview. Like this is one of the most important lecture. Generative AI overview. We will show you the generative AI overview. We will also show you the various settings in generative AI. Then we will talk about ENV location. This is one of the most important part, that is ENV location, then server side configuration. And like there are various LLMs hosting options in Dancer AI, like and there are also various options in AI like OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, Endpoint, GPT for all, Hugging Face. We will show you this stuff. Then moving to the next lecture, now talking about you can say server side setting or admin side setting. Okay, so in this lecture we'll show you UI and admin settings, like we'll show you the dashboard and UI of the Dancer. Then we'll show you generative AI overview, like connectors for knowledge integration. We'll also show you the real-time syncing and document management, like how you manage the documents if you are in an organization, or if you manage the organization docs and want answers from Dancer. So we will show you that also. Next thing, we'll be talking about the custom assistants and Slack integration, like how you integrate Slack with Dancer, user management stuff, like how many users are in your like how many users you control. And in Dancer, I'll also tell you in the starting that in Dancer, first user is always admin. After first user, anyone is create account or login in that account. So that person is always uh, uh, user, and first person is always admin, first user is always admin in Dancer. And if anyone is create account or login after first user, then that user is user, not in admin. Okay, on to the next slide. So supported authentication method in Dancer. So in this lecture, we'll show you authentication option, basic auth setup, Google auth setup, like how you or like do authentication with Google, how you do basic auth setup. By default in Dancer, like there is basic auth setup. If you want Google auth integration, so we will show you that also in lecture. And like there are advanced authentication method also for organization or enterprises like SAML setup or SAML authentication setup. Okay, moving to the next slide. And this is the last lecture in our course. Like we will show you the setup and overview. Like we'll show you configuring domain name and SSL in DanswerAI. So like we will configure domain and doing domain and SSL configuration. We'll show you the step-by-step guide. What are the key actions in configuring domain name and SSL in DanswerAI? This is also one of the most important part in DanswerAI. If you want to learn more about configuring domain name and Dancer in configuring domain name and SSL in Dancer, then this lecture is for you. That's all about the course, and that's all about the course. Okay, so thank you. We'll meet you in next lecture.